Cuties. An accursed name from Netflix that you all know well, as you have seen me do plenty of videos responding to some of the scandal in regards of the releasing of the pedo bait movie from Netflix known as Cuties. And for a while now, I have been calling for the boycott of Netflix over that bullshit. And for a while now, I have been wondering to myself, has Cuties actually been taken down on Netflix? And for the longest time, I haven't been recommended in the algorithm by any videos, not even Critical, aka Penguin01, not even by him have I been recommended in the algorithm videos talking about the update of what's happening to Cuties. Nobody was talking about this. So that is why I'm here, to talk about how Cuties is no longer on Netflix! Yes! Hashtag boycott Netflix, hashtag cancel Netflix has won, y'all. Free cheers in the live chat for this achievement here, folks. I will say, I did pre-read this article right here, folks, as the title does not say conclusively that Cuties is taken down at Netflix. It goes asking the question, first of all, is Cuties still on Netflix? And pre-reading this, yes, it is found out that ultimately Cuties was taken down, but there's still some left-ish sort of drivel espousing this article that I wanted to respond to. This is a bit old news, actually, as this article is from March 11, 2021, and pre-reading this article, I still hold in my opinion that ultimately the CEO should get replaced over at Netflix, but at least if people go paying into a subscription for Netflix, they are not inadvertently paying into a service that is facilitating and supporting child sexualization, aka by releasing Cuties on the streaming platform. At least there's that, but I still think that the CEO needs to be replaced with his allowing of this bullshit for so long. And whatever crew of people, a team of members at Netflix that gone approving this shit along with the CEO. In an attempt to come out on top in its rivalry with other streaming platforms, Netflix is aggressively adding international films and shows to its catalogs. One such film, Cuties, was released in September 2020. The film has received widespread backlash, and justifiable, might I add. Fuck 'em. For allegedly, not allegedly, dipshit, factually, the film has received widespread backlash for factually, not allegedly, sexualizing children. There is no nudity in the film, but it features a scene showing a young girl taking photos of her genitals and other questionable scenes. So, this is the biggest red flag. I mean, forget the fact that they say allegedly sexualizing children. It's the fact that this article goes saying there is no nudity in this film, where I have to call bullshit. That goes raising a big old fat red flag in my mind. From all the people who are against this movie but seen the movie for themselves to gather the evidence in their mind, at least anyways, to say as to why that Cuties is such immoral fucking trash, they gone pointing out that there is a nude scene. As a matter of fact, in Cuties, there's one part of where that one of the underage girls shows off their boob to the camera. No nudity. Fucking bullshit. There was, in fact, nudity. Fuck out of here. So, this article, even though I am happy that they are reporting on this fact that gives me joy, they are still being dipshits by being overly defensive, quite honestly, or too empathetic in handling, just plainly, with kitty gloves, this fucking piece of trash movie. Netflix seems to have responded to calls to remove Cuties from its catalog. Good. Cuties is no longer available on Netflix. And by the way, might I add, people, I want Dark Crystal re-announced on Netflix. They took down Dark Crystal in an effort to try and defend Cuties from the backlash that it was receiving from a whole lot of people over the internet. they take down Cuties. Hopefully they put back up Dark Crystal. I want to see the second season. Like, I watched that show. It's a pretty good show. JC Armitage says, never seen Dark Crystal, but why did it get taken down? To save money, because it was overly expensive was the thing. It was turning out to be too expensive to keep up on Netflix for the loss in subscription money that they were suffering from. An overcompensating effort to try and defend Cuties. Their decision to keep Cuties on. Netflix was indicted by a grand jury in Texas for promotion of lewd visual material depicting a child via Cuties. Cuties made its debut at the 2020 Sundance Festival on 23rd January, where it won the directing award. There was no talk about the film being controversial until Netflix released the film's promotional material. And this paragraph right here just makes me have to ask, what the fuck is the moral bankruptcy in France? You're gonna seriously tell, or at least imply to me, that in France, where the movie was originally made, and Sundance, the Sundance Festival, I think, is based primarily in France. Who knows? It might be a European-wide sort of festival, but nonetheless, primarily based in France. There was no moral outrage by the populace of France against this movie. I mean, Jay Will is a subscriber of mine, and he has some experience of living in France and whatnot. I wonder what he has to say about the moral bankruptcy of France. I mean, if there really is such a moral bankruptcy from France that they practically condoned this bullshit being Cuties. Now, Jay Will, I suspect, is totally against Cuties. But I just wonder what he has to testify. Is this really true that France, the populace of France, seems to be apathetic towards this bullshit? Why? I mean, maybe there's a more underlying problem with France. I'm just going to be honest. I mean, good thing I don't live in France then, if that is truly the case. Like, fuck. I mean, the fact that it was not being made so controversial in Netflix, that is not exactly an argument, I say, to the writers here at thenetline.com. That is not a piece of evidence or an argument to say as to why that our vitriol and disapproval of the movie should be watered down. If anything, that just shows as a piece of evidence that France is morally bankrupt. It doesn't die down our passion against this piece of shit movie. Anyway, the international promotional poster was criticized for sexualizing 11-year-old girls. The entire movie did it itself. So it doesn't matter. The fact that the poster sexualized the children doesn't matter when the movie was doing it itself as well. The Parents Television Council requested that Netflix remove the film entirely, and a petition started on change.org urging people to cancel their Netflix subscriptions. The campaign garnered over 600,000 followers. Hoorah, people. Huzzah. Netflix changed the photo and apologized, but it couldn't stop the hashtag cancel Netflix movement from spreading like wildfire. Because that wasn't enough. It was still on there for pedophiles to jerk themselves off to be quite blunt. It is reported that some people unsubscribed from Netflix. Not just some people. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. And I'm one of them people, by the way. One of those people that removed my Netflix subscription in the wake of this drama. Tyler County, Texas, went a step further and indicted Netflix for promoting lewd visual material depicting a child. Almost a month after the film's release, a grand jury found that Netflix had a case to answer. The move was celebrated by a slate of conservative politicians. And I hate the fact that this article almost seems to be implying that conservative is a pejorative. That almost seems to be the context that they're saying conservative right here. It's sad. They're not being that explicit as some other articles that I have read defending Cuties about how supposedly this whole anti-Cuties campaign is a left-right sort of issue. But I just get the slight implication there that they're using conservative as a pejorative. Netflix executives responded by stating that it will not take down Cuties, but the streaming platform seems to have bowed to the pressure. Many thought that Netflix would take the film down when the criticism began. However, Netflix opted to leave the film up. The streaming giant CEO, Ted Sarandos, came out to say that Cuties was simply misunderstood. Fuck you, mister. It's a film that is very misunderstood with some audiences, uniquely within the United States. The film speaks for itself. It's a very personal coming-of-age film. That's bullshit, and I'm not going to accept that excuse. You can make a coming-of-age film without sexualizing fucking kids! For the millionth damn time! It's the director's story, and the film has obviously played very well at Sundance without any of this controversy, and played in theaters throughout Europe without any of this controversy. I don't give a flying fuck. I mean, people go on all the time about how United States is a unique example of how that it doesn't want to be like the rest of the Western world when it comes to fucking single-payer healthcare or gun control, etc., etc. This is an example of how the United States is not being like the rest of the Western world. Or at least according to fucking CEO of Netflix, Ted Sarandos. And I say, proud to be an American, motherfucker. Proud to be an American. Fuck you, Ted. Fuck you for trying to defend this piece of shit. From a business perspective, it's easy to see why Netflix kept the film. Sure, it lost some subscribers due to the hashtag cancel Netflix campaign, but the attention brought to the film by the controversy made Cuties an extremely popular title on the platform. Ultimately, they did financially suffer, so fuck them. However, Netflix seems to have given into public demand as Cuties is no longer on Netflix. Thank Jesus. End of article. Fuck! Y'all probably wondering of why that I was silenced for so long. It's because whenever I even entertain responding to fucking Cuties, to all the bullshit, fucking psychotic arguments made by all these Cuties defenders, I feel like I lose a little bit of my soul. I literally spiritually and emotionally hurt when trying to respond to this bullshit. But at least it's taken down. So now, we can finally, fucking finally, shelve the issue of Cuties. Right? Right? I hope so. This fucking triggers me. The talk about Cuties, this fucking triggers me. I think I'm justified in my triggeredness, but all the same, why? Why do people defend this shit? It just utterly baffles me. Hello everybody, it's Darkcon of the Americana Project, and I'd like to thank you for taking the time to check out this small, up-and-coming channel. If you like what you hear, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons and ring that bell notification button to all. And if you'd like to check out my main channel, The Dark Conservatarian, or donate to my Patreon, links are down in the description box below. Hopefully I or someone else of this collab channel will see you later. God bless.